yeah, athletes, I think, if I can be real, this is what I say to my girlfriends about my experiences with the two. I've only dated two athletes, so I'm not going to speak generally, but I do also, I'm friends with wives still. And I have had learned a lot because, again, I'm an observer in the world. So I had learned a lot about what the women in the athletes' lives have, what they felt and what the experience was, whether they would say it or not. But a lot of them would be vocal. But athletes, you guys have never, I won't say never, but very seldom were you challenged on being a good partner or a good brother or a good son or a good student.
How about this?
Or a good...
You say everything that you want to say, and I will correct if needed.
Okay.
So you have full...
Yes, I'm being careful because I'm talking to an athlete, and I don't want to offend you.
You're not. Trust me. You can't.
Or anyone else, but...
It's very, very nice of her, and she's still a very good-looking woman. A lot of these women, once they age past a certain age, you can see it on them. You can see life is lifed on them. It looks like she's in a good space.
Yeah, I think that you guys have relationally, you're stunted because a lot of people have appeased and placated you. And so you've gotten your way with women, with teachers, with sometimes pastors, you know what I mean? Because everyone's a fan or nobody wants to be in the way of you making it, and so women don't challenge a certain side of you relationally. And so in my experience, and again, that's mine and the experience of those who who I would speak with. In my experience, that was apparent, that just stunted emotionally, stunted. Like learning things, we're talking in 30s that maybe someone by 21 would have known. You know what I mean?
Listen, I got to be objective, and I have to say that is absolutely correct. And it's not even a thing that we should be celebrating in our community. And let me tell you why. One of the biggest things in Black people in general, right, is we completely remove character development from our kids in order to try to push them to do something that a lot of times we never did, right? If they are being an athlete or, a rapper or all of these type of things, a lot of times, maybe not so much the rapper. Let's just stay on the athlete because that's what Keri Hilson is talking about. But when you're young and you can identify a fucking LeBron James or whatever, so on and so forth, a lot of times they don't get the discipline and the character development that goes along with the talent. And so what happens is they get away with stuff that at the time it seems like it makes sense. Oh man, because it's awesome to you. Oh man, he ain't got to go to class but that nigga can't read. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he ain't got to do this, he ain't got to do that. But he not focused. And so, he when they're younger, it seems like, oh man, it's cool. But if they don't make it, or when they do make it, but then they have all of these other outside issues from what they do on the court, I believe that that's one of the reasons why you see maybe in Anthony Edwards moving the way that he's moving, as far as getting all of these older women pregnant, getting a 38, almost 40-year-old woman pregnant, maybe the Jalen Green and how he moving. One of the people that I respected, not just because he's from Detroit, is Cade Cunningham. And the reason that I respect Cade Cunningham is because if you talk to his brother, which his brother is at the games a lot of times, or you don't see him in the same spaces and move in the same way as Anthony Edwards or Jalen Green, as far as getting caught up in these spaces or getting finesse. Because it seems like even though he was in the same boat as far as him being raised, and obviously he was going to make it to the NBA and he played against Jalen Green his whole life, he's not making the same bad decisions, which obviously the character development came along with it. And this is why you need balance. This is why you need discipline. This is why you need dedication. And that extends, I believe, over into relationships. And I'm going to let her play the rest of the way. But a lot of times we are doing our kids a disservice by only championing sports, only championing music, only championing being famous. We don't push them academically. We don't push them relationally. We don't push them emotionally. We don't tell them that they need to suffer. We always are trying to do the thing that can get them rich, but all of the other things matter too. And I think that, even though they may be talking about relationships in this instance, it's 100% applicable. And I think that she's right. I think that she's hitting the nail on the head.
Like
relational things like how to be honest, or I mean, so many things. Yeah. But how to express.
No,
you know what I mean? How to be mature about
I would agree
things,
with you.
Just certain things that.
I will agree with you, but I think
it wasn't your focus. Not to cut you out, but it wasn't y'all's focus. Relationships couldn't have been your focus. You were paid to run the ball down the field or pass the, you know what I mean? And you were paid to do very specific things that anything else that required other things from you really,
she owned it.
Your job had to take precedence over a lot of things. So it's not always your fault. It's not your fault at all, really.
No. I think as you're talking, there's certain things that's coming up. It's like, yo, you don't learn how to love because anybody will love you.
Yes. Bottom line.
Feel me?
Yes.
And a lot of athletes, obviously y'all know that I'm cool with a lot of them. They will tell you that they don't even know who they can trust. And so they treat everything transactionally, or they just, a lot of times they're very reserved until they leave the league and they don't have as bright of a star on them because everybody that's in a corner, every woman that's in a corner is actually trying to use them. They're leveraging them or they telling them yes because they're looking to get something out of them. And it's messed up. It's honestly, these is human beings also. It is messed up.
And it's like stepping away from the game and experiencing, we know how we are. I know and I don't even feel like I'm selling out. It's just the truth. It's like, bro, everybody, like I tell my kids all the time, I mean, my all-star kids, C1N has been a philanthropic give back for me in certain cases that, we provide football camps and things. And when I talk to kids and it's like, man, I got a girlfriend. I'm like, how old are you? 16. I said, what school you going to? Georgia. The University of Georgia? Yeah. Is she going there with you? No, she can't get in. I say, all right. You want the good news or you want the bad news? Like I've been living for a long time and I ain't never known nobody to be married to their high school sweetheart. That's not to say keep on living. Because it's not to say that you can't get married to your high school sweetheart.
Yeah, because some people do.
They do. Yeah. And that's real love. But more times than not.
Yeah, especially in athletics.
Yeah. About that.
It's hard to make
Have y'all ever seen Get Out?
Yeah. Yeah, there were some real things about that too. But yeah, I think you said it in a nutshell. Like you haven't learned how to love. That's a talent, a tool that you haven't needed or that you couldn't cultivate. So.
Or sometimes they use as leverage or I like to say negative motivation to ultimately propel you to be even more successful in whatever it is that you're doing.
Everything. That's what I couldn't pinpoint one thing for you when you asked me what things. I'm like, it's really all of it as it pertains to love.
It blitzed you, and it was like, hold on, what can I share? And what can I just
it was a lot of things. It was so many.
Yes.
It's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous as a child that still has a childlike mentality because that is something that they probably never fully developed as they became an adult to never be told no. To never be told no. And that could absolutely ruin your life. I think that a lot of these parents are ruining these kids' lives, especially because, again, it's very rare that you're going to get an athlete that has a prolonged, prolific career like a LeBron James, like all of these guys that wind up having a very, very long runway. And even afterwards, they could still do something like what a Shaq do, and they still going to be super relevant. A lot of these dudes, they're in the league 2-3 years tops. They make a little bit of money and then they crash out and they never actually, but they was the man where they was from and they never actually got the character development that they needed or the skill set that they needed to be able to sustain life after the spotlight was no longer on them. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I think that Keri Hilson hit the nail on the head. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.